Hi, everyone. As Jen said, I am the co-founder and current executive director of Love Live Local. My co-founder, Jen Villa, is actually sitting right behind me. We have like opposite views of, um, and we are located on Cape Cod. We're a local business advocacy organization for the entire region. And Jen is actually, this is my second to last day as the executive director. So Jen is going to be stepping up and stepping into the role, and we're really excited to see where the organization goes from here. She obviously, we've been in it together since minute one, so have no doubt that we will continue to advocate for the businesses in the way that we have been for 12 years now. So the Love of Locals Shift Local Pledge program was launched last year on Black Friday. And essentially, the concept is very simple. We ask people to sign a pledge to shift at least 10% of their holiday spending to locally owned stores. And sorry, I just got to figure out how to advance my, got it. So the background of the program is it's modeled after other similar initiatives. We are not creating something new here. In fact, Low Country Local First was really helpful and instrumental in helping us get this off the ground. I know Jordan is on the call, and they graciously met with us and talked about their own Shift Local program that they run around, and Jordan, you can correct me if I'm wrong, around local food and eating, local foods and shopping at farmers markets and things like that. We decided, it's also years and years ago, I believe Amoeba was involved in a 10% shift initiative. And this was when I first, like 15 years ago, started getting involved in this kind of work. And it's something that I always, had in the back of my head that I thought Love of Local could effectively execute a similar initiative. Cape Codders love to have have things that are very localized and Cape centric. And I'm sure you all know from your own communities, people probably feel the same way. So they also love to have an action item, something that they can feel like they are doing to help our local businesses. And this felt like a tangible a thing for people that they can sign on and pledge their loyalty to our local businesses. And the holiday season was a perfect time for us because people are out and shopping. This is when they're out shopping, so it's easier and it's a condensed amount of time for them to pledge to carry out this kind of action. And they're feeling very generous at that time of year. So I think that also lends itself to people kind of signing on to initiatives like this. It built on some of the work, not just on other similar initiatives, but it built on some of the work that we've done with our, what we call our local matters reports. And a lot of other communities have done Indie Impact reports that show, if you shift 10% of your spending to local stores, it generates a certain amount of money for your local community based on, data that's gathered in your communities. And we put that out there a lot, that shifting 10% on Cape Cod to independent businesses from corporately owned businesses would generate $112 million more for our local community annually. And that's something that people, every time we say that at presentations to people in our shop, and they are always like, oh, wow, just that little bit, can make a big difference. So we definitely piggybacked on some of the messaging that we had already engaged in for years. So essentially, the Shift Local Pledge we asked people to go to our website, sign up, sign the pledge, and once they signed up, they would get a welcome email that not only told them, thank you for signing up, but also why they should do it and how they can do it. So we produce a gift guide every year that highlights products from stores all across the region, just kind of gift ideas. And so we linked to that we have a digital version of the guide. And so it was kind of giving people ideas and where to go. Because that's a lot of the feedback we get is like, I don't know where to find this. I don't know where to get this. And that's our easy way to say, here's a guide for you. And then we asked people to track their spending. So we said, save your receipts, even though, you could generally just go on your bank statement. Most people pay with cards these days. So but we asked them to track their receipts. So from, the whole holiday season, from Black Friday to the end of December. And then we asked them to report back how much they spent during that holiday season. And then in that reporting, we also asked them to kind of gauge, what percentage of their spending was done at locally owned stores. So this is one of the, and I'm going to give Jen all the credit in the world. Jen creates, a lot of our graphics, and we use them, we try to be clear and concise in our marketing, but also on brand, and make it easy for people to kind of grasp the concept. So she created this, and we used our other assets, our other marketing assets like social media. Hopefully this will play. This was a slide deck on Instagram that we shared. And then that graphic that you see at the end, and that these people this woman is holding at our Love Local Fest, was something we also gave to the people who signed up, and they could use it as their profile picture for Facebook or whatever, so that it was giving more attention to the program. This is our gift guide that I was referring to, and we wrote a whole article in it and encouraged people to sign up using a QR code or to go on our website. So we basically leveraging all of our marketing assets to promote the Ship Local Pledge. And then we do a big Love Local Fest holiday shopping event at the beginning of December, and we had signage all around the fest. We had people posing with the signage as well, and to promote it too, because we have about 10,000 people that attend that festival. So, working to promote there as well. And then we also were fortunate enough that we had, our local access television did a whole story on it, where we went to a local business and talked about the importance of it. And so we got some good, earned press, as well as using our own marketing assets. And every time we talked about it, we encourage people to share. And then in order to get the data, which we need to measure the impact of the program, we had incentives for participation. So all of our gift guide advertisers, we put it out there, told them what we were up to, and said, do you want to donate a gift certificate or an item to help us incentivize people to report back? They came out in droves. We had over 30 businesses give us items and gift cards, so much so that we were able to give out 4 prizes at the end that were about between $400 and $500 each. And so everyone who signed up was encouraged to report back their how much they spent, their how many stores they went to, so listing out all the stores they went to, and their best shop local story. So we asked them to share anything that kind of warmed their heart through the holiday season. And everyone who submitted that data to us was entered to win one of these prizes. So that incentive definitely helped a lot. I think it helped to get people involved in the first place, but it definitely helped to get people to report back. And then this is what we ended up with, was 166 total participants. Our goal was 100 for our first year. So we definitely, exceeded that goal, which was great. The average individual spend at local stores was a little over $1,000. And so we estimated that, over $177,000 was spent at local businesses. And that's just with 166 people. So, and then most of them did most of their shopping at local stores. So 60% of their shopping was done locally, which is also really heartening to hear. And then overall 309 unique businesses were visited during that time. And we shared this graphic, on our social, and we will definitely be in our gift guide this year referencing all of this data as we launch this next initiative this year. And then our goals for this year, we want to have 500 participants. That's our goal. We have secured one of our local banks is sponsoring the initiative, and we received a grant to also expand the initiative. So we're going to leverage the enthusiasm of the local businesses that participated last year and ask them to put up tent cards at their POS, and ask them to help us get out the word, but by creating collateral materials ahead of time that we'll be able to get people to sign up. And I should mention, we allow people to sign up throughout all of December. They could sign up till the end of the year, which, we wanted people to be able to, all they have to do is be able to track their spending from the end of November. And then we also, one of our goals is to have a video campaign this year because we know how important video is in marketing messaging. So that's all I've got.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Amanda. That was great. And we'll let Sherree get her slides up. Again, if the audience has any questions, you can put them in the chat.
Hi, everyone. Amanda, that was so interesting. And I love that program. And congratulations on its success. Okay. Let me get this into slide mode here. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining us today. And I'm going to walk through a little bit of the history of Go Local Asheville and share with you our program. And very excited to do that because I, like the other people on this call, I'm sure everyone, whether you're presenting or watching, is that we're all very passionate about local independent businesses and supporting this community. So I'm going to share with you how we do it in Asheville. I don't know how many of you have been here or know about Asheville. I just thought I'd start with just a quick introduction to this city that I love. We're an Appalachian city. We have less than 100,000 people here. I put a little map up just in case you may not know where it is. Western North Carolina, and we're in the Blue Ridge Mountains. We're known as being a foodie town. We have multiple James Beard award-winning chefs and restaurants here. You can't throw a rock and not hit a brewery here. But also we've now evolved into rooftop bars. We probably have 15 rooftop bars just downtown as they overlook the Blue Ridge at sunset. It doesn't get much better. Lots of outdoor activities, as you can imagine, especially hiking. Music is big here. We're definitely a music city, and that's why it's like Asheville, not Nashville. But we have the same music in our culture, I think, as at our scale, at a much smaller scale as Nashville. Lots of artisans and craftspeople here, and a big local independent business community, which is one of the draws for me in coming here. So about Go Local, oh, sorry, hold on. We were founded in 2011, so we've been around for 13 years. And you can see our mission in growing this resilient local economy, but also thriving, and how we do that, how we champion the unique character of our region through that. And we want every resident, we're a big tourist and visitor destination. And we, as well as our locals, we want everyone when they come here to consider local first when they're thinking about purchasing or doing a tour or going to a brewery, whatever it is they do, they think local first. We obviously believe that every local independent business contributes to our culture and why we want to support. And that's what our program does, is brings awareness to the importance of shopping, eating, buying local. We advocate on behalf of local independent businesses, and we help create community and strengthen the local economy. Our local businesses, this is probably a slide that everyone here is definitely aware of, and why the importance of supporting local businesses. and there's stats out there about local businesses. There's 3 times more money circulating in a community through our local businesses versus franchises or chains. So lots of good reasons to keep our money. Local businesses tend to pay more of a living wage. They live in the community, so they care about the community, and decisions they make have their community in mind. So how our program works. So we are a membership-based organization. Right now we have just over 650 local independent businesses that are members. And this is what is unique. Our membership is free. But what we ask is that each business provide a discount or a perk or added value for card holders. So that's our business model. Is we sell Go Local cards that are $20, and it allows the card holder to participate in the discounts and perks that are offered by our members. We have just about 5,000 card holders annually. Most of those are block cards, but we also we give away cards to our local public schools, to the PTAs, who then use those cards as fundraisers. Our whole history of Go Local has been not obviously supporting local independent businesses, but we also support our local schools, our local public schools, and we've raised just about $275,000 for the schools over the years, and something that we're really proud of. So this is local independent business. This is our criteria, meaning that it's not a franchise or a chain. They're regionally based with no corporate headquarters outside of North Carolina. The whole point of all is the money stays here, whether it's in the county or in one of the surrounding counties. Again, a way of building our local economy, which we know that small business and local businesses take a lot of credit for the health of a local economy. So we do something kind of fun every year. When a new card comes out, we actually attach mascots to the cards, and our cards are very low tech. We're still kind of we are a grassroots organization. And these mascots symbol something about Asheville, and I don't have enough time to go through and tell you what each one symbolizes. But you can see in prior years who our mascots were. In our current year as pets. Asheville is also, I should have put this in my overview, it's known as a dog city, and pets are just about allowed everywhere in this city. You can't go anywhere without seeing a dog. And then we have so many pet supply companies and pet spa companies on the card. So it's a way to show our appreciation to them as well. So I will tell you, but just don't tell anybody, that our 2025 mascot we're going to go back to the bear, which you see over to the left. We've updated the bear a little bit. He was done, I think, back in 2018, but black bears are almost as common as dogs in Asheville. I live in a neighborhood just outside of downtown, and we've named our bears because they have become so well known to us. And they're gentle creatures, and we try to leave each other alone and coexist nicely. But anyway, it'll be a bear next year as well. So the members, when they become members, one of the reasons they do that is to become part of a community of local independent businesses. But the another big reason they do it is for the marketing that we do and the publicity and promotion they get as being not only their business, but a local independent business. And so we have a big partnership with a newspaper here, a weekly newspaper, and they actually they produce, print, and distribute over 30,000 Go Local directories every December for us. And they do that free for us. In exchange, the only advertisers in the directory, it's about a 65-page directory. The only advertisers allowed in this print directory are Go Local business members, but the money that they get from the advertising, they keep. And that's the partnership, and it's beautiful. They are happy with it. They either break even or make a little bit of money. They're also a local independent business, and we want them to be successful too. So they've been partners for us for years, and I'm so proud that we continue that partnership every year. So over 30,000 distributed, and again, this is all free for our business members. Then what you see in the middle, that's our online directory. So we're adding new businesses. The print directory, as we all know, is dated from the day it comes out. So we do an online directory, and you'll also see an app. We built an app a couple years ago based upon the input from our business members as well as our cardholders. The cardholders wanted it at their fingertips, right? They wanted to be able to find local businesses when they were out and about without worrying about remembering to take the print directory. Well, we're bringing new businesses on every day, and then they come in next year to the print directory. And we have a really high retention rate from year to year. We have over 90% retention for the businesses that are still ongoing entities. And we all know there's a pretty big turnover in our small business community. So from a future growth standpoint, we're going to launch a youth card. And the idea, I didn't come up with this idea, but we have such equity with the youth through our support of the schools, and a nonprofit that works with youth with substance prevention came to me and asked if I would consider this. And so we talked about it, and from their standpoint, they were looking for ways to build awareness of safe, healthy activities, places that kids were welcome, that would give kids something to do in a safe environment, kind of keeping them off the streets, if you will, after school and things like that. So from that standpoint, that made a lot of sense, but then, and wanted to support that again, because of our support of youth overall, but also that we wanted to start educating youth on the importance of shopping local independent businesses, because you can imagine the kids that are growing up now, how easy everything is, like to order from Amazon or Walmart, and that's what they're growing up with. Everything's at their fingertips online. So to have a chance to talk to kids, to teenagers directly, made a lot of sense, and gave our businesses a way to reach one of their target audiences, which are kids. So we're going to launch this in 2025. Maybe Jen will invite me back next year to share how it's going. So far, we started recruiting businesses that are focused on kids and that we think have value for kids, and we've gotten a good response. But we have numbers we want to hit that's going to make it worthwhile, because there'll be a cost associated with that card, and make sure that it's got the value that's needed through the businesses that are going to be on there. As I said, our business membership is free. We're looking at, I think probably everyone's aware of, a freemium model where you have a base. I think most of the music streaming have freemium models with a base of that you get free. And then for extra things, you're willing to pay a fee for that. So nothing's going to change on what businesses are getting now. The promotion, the directories, all of that support. We do marketing events, we do workshops. We'll continue to do those things free, but there'll be the next tier will be where we're able to offer them more based upon, kind of determining what a good price point would be and what the business's value that makes sense for them, and what does that look like. And again, I've held this off until 2026. Both the youth card and the going to a freemium model are both very tech driven, meaning that I've got a web and app maintenance team, and it's a matter of resources, quite honestly. And we decided to put the youth card this year and back the freemium model into next year, so we could do both of them right. It would be too difficult to try and do them both at the same time. We chose the youth card first. We have found collaborations to be crucial. we work closely with the Asheville Downtown Association. We have a lot of business members downtown, and we have a big crossover, and they're getting ready to do a Winter Lights program, and Go Local's going to do a hot chocolate stroll, partnering with one of the most well-known hot chocolates in Asheville. And so that's through collaboration that gets our name out there. Our businesses are really happy that we're doing more to bring locals downtown. Again, we're a tourist town, and many locals sometimes just don't feel, it's comfortable or they're as welcome as tourists. And so we want to get locals going back downtown, and we have all of our cardholders are locals. We don't promote to tourists. And so we have a way to reach out to our cardholders. And I think I'm out of time. I could go on and on. I think
we'll definitely have you back. Yeah. I can't wait to hear about the youth card, and I need to go to Dog City as well. I didn't know you guys were called Dog City as well as everything else. So that's really fantastic. So we'll get Kathleen.
You're invited anytime.
Thank you. Kathleen, time to queue up. And again, feel free to add your questions to the chat. Thank you, Kathleen.
Yeah, of course. Sherree, that was great. A couple of years ago, was able to pop down to Asheville when we were doing some of the mountains there, and man, is it incredible. So cool to hear what you're doing to activate your locals. And as someone who was passing through, I absolutely loved it. Okay, let me put this also, friends, that clearly I don't present as often as I should. All right, here we are. I'm trying to find my right tab. So Celebrate Indie Month. Indie Month is a program we run here at People First Economy. We're based in Michigan. It is a program that we've been inspired to run through Amoeba. Amoeba's Choose Indie programming does a lot around Indie Month, Indie Week, Independence Month. It's gone by several names over its history with the organization. And our program has grown alongside that in the last 4 years. So we started Indie Month with a week-long push, and we have now since transitioned it into the month format. We created this really fun summary brand to engage people in July, which is our Indie Month timeframe. So a little bit of background on Indie Month. July is our Indie Month here in Michigan. We particularly serve West Michigan businesses through our programming, so we're activating West Michigan consumers during this time frame. This is, as I mentioned, an inspiration from Amoeba that we've had over the years, really to align independent businesses around Independence Day and activate consumers to shift their spending during that time frame. So we host a big kickoff for our campaign, which I'll go into some of the details here in just a minute, around Independence Day. So encouraging people to get started then and play with us through the entirety of the month. And Sherree, similarly to a lot of the notes that you shared, we do this because we believe in highlighting the Think Local First message here. We want to catalyze consumers to shift their spending in our community. We also want to find ways to activate our retail storefronts to be participating in some of these initiatives. And it's a way that we can continue providing value to our local first membership. So what is Indie Month? Indie Month is a program we run largely digitally. Like I said, we do activate some storefronts through this process, but we have two main ways for people to play along with us through the month. The entirety of this program is for folks to play, submit, so that they can win some really fun local staycation goodies with us. So there are two ways for people to play. We put together this Indie Month bingo, which has a bunch of different calls to action to support our small business community. Underpinning all of this is that we really want people to utilize the amenities of our business on our website. So come find the directory of our businesses on our website, continue providing people value through those tools and resources that we send or create for our membership. So we have our bingo card that's got a bunch of calls to action. Each of these calls to action have a way to engage on our directory. You can either search that function directly on our website, or find them in a category or a region, etc. All of these have a function on our directory. So again, this helps us to activate that directory, which is something we can report to our membership at the end of the year. How many people are tracking through that? How much use is it getting, etc. That all is part of our ROI in our membership renewal conversations that we're continuing to get people's eyes on businesses and shifting spending to that through platforms like this. So we have our bingo card. We share this digitally, and also we print out editions of this to put in storefronts. So we actually create a postcard rendition of this. You're seeing the postcard front here. This is all the information we tell folks about how to play on that postcard. And the back of the postcard is pre-addressed and pre-stamped. So everything that we send out is low barrier. The nice part about this is that you, the consumer, can pick it up at a storefront. You can check off your 5 items, and then you just have to drop it in the mail somewhere after writing your name, address, or some way for us to contact you should you be the winner for this this year. The other way to play is a little bit less, there's less barrier to this. So we only have it as 1 entry point versus our bingo card is multiple entry points. If you're putting your dollars somewhere, we want to incentivize that and encourage that, and we want to honor that with a little bit more weight. This other is more of a word of mouth platform, and we still want to honor that too, because there is funding. Discretionary income is a barrier for multiple people, and there's still great ways to share and love on your businesses here in our community where you have the discretionary income to put in that space. So we encourage people through this Love Your Locals story to share who some of their favorites are. They might be favorites like your favorite barista or your favorite storefront, etc. And then tag a friend and tag us so that we can see this. Hopefully when you tag your friend, they are likewise encouraged to play, and you can share the rules with them here for how to play. So our bingo card is a 5 entry point system. And our Love Your Local story template is just a 1 entry point into our overall giveaway. And then what folks can win. This is a big piece for us. We spend a lot of time putting together a staycation package that is really exciting. So definitely resonate with what folks have shared already. I think it is encouraging to see folks pour into this space, and businesses are really excited to provide donations into packages like this. So we definitely have seen growth in this area from our business engagement by doing this the last couple of years. And we want to create a package that encourages our local community to continue being in our local community and staying in our local community and kind of romanticizing that and putting their dollars behind it. And so one of our core partners in doing this is a local boutique hotel in our area. They offer this year, they offered a 2-night stay as part of this package. And then our other businesses are donating things that bring people out to the neighborhoods of our region. So those are things like restaurant gift cards, there's retail shopping, there are a bunch of different ways to get engaged. There's some local art and other goodies you can take back with you into your home. So we're always encouraging people to participate in that and have seen growth in that over time. Something we always say on our team is like, we love putting together this package. We are not eligible to enter as staff members, but this is always the thing that we really wish we could win, and encourage all of our friends to play along because we want them to be able to win. This is a pretty fun package that we're able to put together. So it's a joy to put that together. And we did see some increased participation in that this year. So measuring success in this program, as folks mentioned, we do want to make sure that we have opportunities for people at their point of sale to have some of these materials. So we're tracking internally how many more businesses we can have participate year to year and develop materials. So this is Louise Earl is a butcher in our area, showcasing one of our foam cores that we a little poster display that we leave by the checkout stations alongside some of those postcards that I mentioned. So we leave a stack of each business alongside a way to play. If their stack runs out, there's a QR code to our landing page where folks can find more information about how to play. So year to year, we're tracking things like how many more businesses are interested in getting this information out and having it in their retail storefront. Where are those in our region? We in West Michigan, our region is pretty well split between what we call Lakeshore communities and then our Grand Rapids community. And so we are kind of tracking engagement in those spaces. And then we also put out a social media toolkit. The toolkit is pretty well branded specifically to this. So we do find some of the feedback from folks so they're not looking to have another brand on their existing platforms. That being said, folks are interested in sharing out this information, whether they're resharing it or sharing it directly on their feeds. So we continue to put out a social media toolkit and measure how many people are participating in that. And we measure how many people are donating to the campaign every year to get a sense of how our businesses are participating in this. Our goal is always to increase consumer engagement. This year, we did see a little bit of a downturn, and we are curious about that from a number of perspectives. We do have some folks in the pandemic space that came up with many consumer challenges, things like flights of flavor, things like there are many incentives for folks in our area to engage. And so there is a little bit of trying to meet some of that demand in the space, which is a little overpopulated at the moment. So there are a number of things that we're considering in that. We were shooting for 300, and I believe this year we got in the upwards of 200 entries into the overall campaign. Alongside that, we're tracking things like our website traffic, how many people are coming to our Indie Month landing page, which we put together more information around how folks can participate in this, and our increase to our overall directory. We're tracking our social media metrics, and then on our postcard and foam core display, we also are tracking how many people are clicking through using those QR codes. It's just always encouraging to us to see how well the retail displays are performing, so we can share that information as well with not only our sponsors, but our retail, our folks who are putting these in their retail storefronts. So just a quick note on planning ahead. Something that we learned this year in real time is that Instagram has changed their privacy settings. So I mentioned that we have a story format. We used to be able to see every entry, anyone who tagged us, we had populated with that, and the rules of Instagram have changed. So now we cannot see anyone who has a privacy setting on that. And so we will need to think about next year whether or not that story format is something we want to continue. If we do continue it, is it something we just need to build education around, or will we change our model? We love this low barrier way for people to engage with us. It's great for our social platform. It's great for folks to get the shout out. People love it. It becomes all the more challenging if folks cannot actually be entered in because we don't get their messages by these new rules. So that is a barrier that we will have to figure out what we want to do with that in the coming year. We also are seeking to increase our distribution. One of the interesting pieces about this campaign for us is that in the middle of the pandemic, we also had a print guide that we wound up pulling back from because we have a really robust online directory. And so channels like this became our print medium to meet new consumers in our community. And so one of the things that we're always seeking to do is that tender balance between increasing our sponsorships so that we can print more and have more available to meet new consumers through grassroots touchpoints in our community. So we've discussed quite a bit how many ideal print pieces, platforms, et cetera, do we need to get out in order to see that internal return. So we have identified in the last year or so, we were printing 600 postcards, usually getting about 300 entries, and we are eager to ramp that up to continue to see that conversion rate growth in this platform. We also found that our social media ad placements were incredibly valuable to reaching new consumers. We found that that did bring a ton of traffic to our website, to our directory, and to people who were engaging, particularly in the online touch points, whether they downloaded our bingo card from the website, whether they grabbed that from our social media, or use the Love Your Locals template for the story platforms. That was a great way to bring new people into our platform. So we definitely encourage us to be doing that again and potentially expanding that reach. And then on the quantitative metrics side, we're really encouraged and excited by some of the platforms that folks have, like Love Local, where you can track things like how many dollars you spent at a retail storefront, conversions of those. We've considered receipt programs alongside this, and are eager to think about what some of the structures would need to be in place in order to capture that information. It's an area of growth for us. We love seeing the conversion between how many people are using the postcards and tools and then submitting for the giveaway piece, but we'd love to add some additional metrics to this campaign that showcase to our sponsors, to our partners, to our donors, to those retail storefronts who are participating in our membership, that this is having a dollars and cents impact. Right now we're showing an engagement from our consumers, but we're eager to add that additional layer. Of course, that is really impressive data, folks. So things to come ahead, we would love to increase that. And then, of course, our success from this campaign, what we're able to do is really done through partnership. So we have our Downtown Grand Rapids platform here, which is kind of our active DDA for the Grand Rapids area, has been an investor in this program and helping us spread the word. Folks like Downtown Grand Rapids, Experience Grand Rapids, and Word Out Influence have also created collaborative partnerships with us for social media. So collaborative reels and other things to continue to access new networks who might participate in this. And we find a lot of value from that. But everything is done in partnership. And so we're also grateful for folks who buy into that. So that's a quick overview of what our program is, who we are, and what we're doing. I will stop sharing and Jen, I know there were also questions that you're hoping to jump through.
Yeah, so thank you,
Thanks for the platform.
Kathleen, so much for that. I know it's a lot of information. Carol asked, will we be sending a copy of this meeting? I'll definitely give the video. I'll also invite our presenters to share their slides. I already have Sherree, so thank you. If you're willing, I can send those along as well when I do a follow-up. I'm just going to skip to a quick question that Jen had. She may have missed something, but how do the stores mark the bingo card, Kathleen, or do they not?
Yeah, we right now, this is like a self-indicated platform. So we put together some guidelines for the retail folks, so they can encourage people to be checking those off. There's not a particular punch or stamp that they use, but when they spend at the retail storefront, they cross that off. The consumer does themselves.
Thank you. Any other questions or interesting ways that you tackle this in your community? I know we did the had people send their receipts. This was probably about 15 years ago, and it was insane. We'd get like, because this is before people were really using their phone and taking pictures. So people were physically putting all their receipts in it, mailing it in an envelope. And then I was going through and tallying up all the totals and so we just didn't expect it to have that many people would actually take the time during the holiday season to send me their receipts. And it was just, it went incredibly well. The downtown, merchants loved it, but it was labor intensive. So when I saw Love Live Locals, I'm like, how the heck are they doing that? And so now I know the key. So that was really great to see the different approaches that you all have to this, and also knowing that a lot of the things you're doing, there's virtual components to it, but there's also, in person, and then finding those opportunities to reach new folks is definitely appreciated, as well as you have more and more tech savvy people, but you also have other people who just want to touch the paper and write something to you. So that's great to see the two. Let's see. So we have Deb, your towns are pretty big. Yes, that's actually what I was thinking too, Deb. Any ideas for towns under 1,000 people? And I can kind of, I mean, our town is bigger than that, but it was we were doing bingo cards for a while, and it was just a lot of work to get a very small return. Even though people like the idea, they would take it and they'd kind of forget about it. So we actually do a staycation giveaway, much like Kathleen. But we do is we have people make a pledge during July. They can say they're going to spend, or they're going to purchase just at locally owned businesses for a day, a week, or a month. They decide. They talk about why they just share a little bit. We have some guiding questions, and I'm surprised at how many people take those questions very seriously and give, like, they almost plant stories and plant quotes that I'm able to use for articles. So Deb, that's kind of a not so contingent on large numbers. It's more of like getting people to engage. They also share what their struggles were, but also success stories. And that's like a pretty easy thing for somebody who's a volunteer to run. They do a pre-survey and a post-survey in order to be put into the giveaway.
Is another thing that springs to mind for me. This is not through our programming, but I grew up in a town much smaller, similar to the size that you're sharing, Deb, that recently is going through quite a bit of construction. And so they created this incentive to bring people downtown, to be supporting downtown in the middle of what is admittedly quite a challenging time. Many of the small businesses in my hometown are closing because of the damage the construction is putting on, like foot traffic into their space. And they created a passport system. So because the hometown is quite small, there are only about 30 businesses who are in the passport. So people could automatically be included to be participating in this. And consumers who picked up the passport committed basically to spending a certain amount of dollars downtown within a given period. So the construction was running like May through October. So the passport was active that entire time. And I think it was to spend $20 per business between that period. So it was over a long period of time. I'm not sure what their conversions rates were. Like I said, this is in our program, but it allowed them to have everybody participate and then to create some kind of incentive or giveaway package for folks who spent that, like they committed to spending that level at the downtown space and then provided their passport back. So they knew exactly how much people were spending at a minimum at a business. And then they also had some giveaway touch points that came from those businesses. So they could, I think they were like local bucks to continue shopping at those platforms downtown. So it's one idea.
Super.
I think,
Thanks for that.
yeah, sorry.
Oh, go right ahead.
No, I was just going to congratulate Kathleen on that, because I think bringing awareness to people what construction or in any like flooding or whatever's going on downtown, reminding them that these are local small businesses that continue to need our support. I commend you for that, just to bring awareness to that, and not only showing through their pocketbook, but I'm sure also through acts of kindness. So that sounds like a great idea. And I just saw Jordan put in chat something that Low Country Local First did. That sounds, cool. Yeah, that's really interesting, Jordan.
So Jordan, you did a buy local receipts contest a few years ago where folks submitted via email and added extra points for receipts spent with Black-owned businesses. That's awesome. All went to a generic email for the campaign. It was fun. That's great. And then let's see, we had Caitlin said we had customers bring in receipts with $50 or more spend in a member business, and they would be entered to win a cash prize. Sweet. So Kathleen, you were double duty and you were answering questions and typing in the chat. Woo. Amanda, she was asking, Amanda, I'm interested in how you convene the receipt responses. Do you primarily use a survey through a drip campaign?
So I think because ours was sort of like a longer period of time, it was like a 6-week period, we didn't require people to save their receipts. I think that people kept, actually, when we prompted them to like report out, they're like, I didn't save my receipts. It's like, you can go to your bank statement. Like, it's okay, unless you do cash sales all the time. But, and we had them fill out a Google form. So, it did take a couple of prompts to get people to submit. And like I said, we had the incentives to get them to do it. And we wanted to make sure that they knew it wasn't about how much you spent. There was one prize for somebody who, the person who spent the most, but there were 3 other opportunities so you could have, spent like a low amount of money and you were still eligible to win one of the prizes. But in the Google form, we asked them to just send us a total, and then they list out the businesses that they went to, because we wanted to be able to, at some point create a visual with like all of the names of the businesses that were visited. And yeah, so we tried to keep it as simple as possible. I mean, it still was challenging to get people to do it, but.
And Deb shared her thanks for some of those ideas, but if others have ideas for kind of smaller communities and how to engage and boost loyalty. I think some of the loyalty programs that I've seen, they really launched before COVID, it felt like, and there was a lot of opportunities to work with different businesses who had a loyalty solution. But the biggest problem that I saw was that there are so many loyalty programs in bigger chains that it was just super saturated in a way. So I think these unique, more grassroots, grounded in partnerships are just fantastic ways to go. So I know there are other ideas out there. So please share them now, or send us an email so we can learn together, because what works in one community might not work in another, but we might add a little certain flair. I always love that. We'll like send something out in the universe, like Independence Month, and then Kathleen will, it's like a boomerang, we'll bring it back and just take it to a whole nother level. So that's really what keeps me going in this work. So definitely keep sharing, keep getting inspired by each other. Oh, and we have a Deb with a ladies' night out in Webster City, Iowa, 1-night event. You get a raffle drawing for every $50 you spend. And the next day, they choose 3 winners who get gift baskets filled with gifts and certificates from the participating businesses, and they can track how much money is spent too. That's great. Ladies' night out. Sweet. And again, I will send you a recording, and I'll also send you a link to our next local leaders roundtable, which is going to be a very different spin on measuring your triple bottom line, whether you're a nonprofit or for profit, and how do you tell your impact story. This is actually Unit Co. They really took the B Corp assessment and tried to bring it down to earth for sole proprietors and other small organizations. So they'll be presenting in October. And I'd love the slideshow. All right, you got it, Deb. So again, thank you all for being here. Thank you to our amazing presenters. Sherree will definitely take you up on presenting again. It would be great to hear, next steps for everything. So thank you all again. Have a wonderful Thursday.
Thanks all.